Hello, students, and welcome to Time. Today, we are going to discuss all the important current affairs of December, which are going to be helpful for your upcoming exams. December was the month which had a lot many things which happened. So we will discuss these odd 80 questions one by one, and we'll try to find out the content as well. So let me start with the question number one. So the question number one says India has been ranked dash in Stanford University's 2025 Global AI Vibrancy ranking. And the answer of this question is third. So this is the answer of this question. However, you need to have a lot of content when it comes to the AI. You should know the name of the government scheme related to boosting the AI in the country. So, for an example, the country which is on top is US on this ranking, because most of the big AI companies, maybe ChatGPT or Gemini or Grok for that matter, belongs to United States of America. So number one is US and number two is China. So we are on third ranking in this Stanford University ranking. One thing, and the mission which is behind the success of this ranking is AI India. So you can be asked that what is the name of the mission? So that is AI India. Uh, let's move towards the next one. The Indian movie Homebound, directed by, has been shortlisted for the 98th Academy Awards in the Best International Feature Film category. And the right answer for this is Neeraj Ghaiwan. So this is the right answer. Uh, this director is also known for one more movie which got a very good response. The name of that movie was Masan. So Neeraj was also the director of movie Masan. Uh, and the regional cinema is making its way in the big awards like Academy Awards. So this is also resonating the uh, international audience. Although this movie Homebound is related to the displacement because of COVID, and I'm sure some of you must have seen that movie. It's quite impressive. Let's move towards the question number three. The Lok Sabha has passed the Sabka Bima Sabki Raksha Amendment of Insurance Laws Bill 2025. Identify the correct statement. Now, this question is related to the insurance sector. And trust me, such kind of questions will be there while you'll be taking exams like IRDA or LIC, because this is a big move by the government. So let's read the options. So first option says the bill proposes to improve the ease of doing business for insurance companies. And this is correct. It proposes to increase the FDI limit in Indian insurance companies from 74% to 100% of the paid up equity capital. This is also correct, right? You should also know that in 2021, the Indian government increased the FDI in insurance to 74%. And that saw a very good jump in the premium collection of the insurance companies. So this time government says that we are going to make it, although this announcement was made in the budget 2025 by the finance minister, and recently government increased the FDI limit. This bill amends the Insurance Act 1938. Remember, Insurance Act 1938. So this is going to be the amended act, and also the IRDA Act of 1999. Here, the full form of IRDA is Insurance Regulatory Development Authority of India. Like RBI regulate all the banks. What gives this power to RBI? So that act, which is known as Banking Regulation Act 1949. Same ways, IRDA gets the power from IRDA Act 1999. Remember this, right? So these two acts are going to be amended. The bill aims to bring transparency in regulation making and improve regulatory oversight. That is, it would give more powers to Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority of India. And the answer of this question, as you can understand, is 5, 1, 2, 3. See, this is the data. However, if you are going for, say, descriptive writing, and you can be given the topic, maybe the topic given to you can be more FDI, 100% FDI in insurance, pros and cons. So there are pros that definitely these companies will come and invest in India. We would get more foreign currency, rupee would appreciate, the insurance sector would get a big boost, everything is fine. But foreign companies, like, although government has said that whatever premium you are going to collect, you have to invest that premium in India itself, you cannot take that money out, but still there is a risk to give your hard-earned money to the foreign companies. The critics say so, I'm not saying. So there are certain pros and certain cons of FDI. Although FDI, especially in all the sectors which are related to finance, is being welcomed as well as criticized. For an example, FDI in banking sector. So if you talk about the private sector banks, 74% FDI is allowed. And therefore, HDFC and ICICI are the foreign controlled Indian banks, because 74% FDI is allowed. Here, again, if you are a newcomer and you don't know what is FDI all about, so let me make it very clear. There are certain terms. One is FDI, another is FII or QFI. So FDI is foreign direct investment, FII is foreign institutional investment, and QFI is qualified foreign investors. These two are same. This is actually, I'll tell you the difference. So let's say if you are a foreign company and you want to invest in an Indian company. So if you are investing up to 10% in any Indian company as a foreign company, let's say you are coming from China or Japan. So if you are investing up to 10% in any Indian company, you would be considered as QFI or FII, or for that matter, FPI. Here, FPI is foreign portfolio investors, FII is foreign institutional investors, and QFI is qualified foreign investors. So up to 10% equity investment is known as FII. If it's more than 10%, if it's more than 10%, then it would be considered as FDI. Although there are many other technical constants that we are not going to discuss in today's class, but it should be clear. I'll give you a very good example. Walmart, you must have heard the name of this company. Walmart invested in Flipkart. Around 70% shares of Flipkart is owned by Walmart. And therefore, we say that Walmart has made a foreign direct investment in Flipkart. Okay. So that is the difference. And yes, if you are preparing for the competitive exams, you should be aware about the FDI limits as well. How much FDI is allowed in which sector? For an example, banking, as I told you, 74% in private sector, 20% in the government banks, or now 100% in insurance sector, and so forth. There are certain areas whereas the FDI is prohibited, like lottery, real estate, and few more. Tobacco, you cannot you cannot invest in Indian companies in some sectors, whereas FDI is totally prohibited, right? So there are different limits. I would keep this onus on you. Try to find out the FDI limits in different sectors, especially which are related to banking and finance. Anyways, so this is how it is. Um, let's move towards the next slide. So identify the correct statement regarding the Viksit Bharat Guarantee for Rozgar and Ajivika Mission Gramin Bill 2025 that was introduced in Lok Sabha. This was also controversial. The opposition parties, they said that government is trying to defame Mahatma Gandhi, and there were many allegations on the government, although we will not go into the negative side of this. We have to remember and understand the data that will do. So yes, it will replace the MGNREGA, which used to provide the 100 days of employment to the unskilled labor living in rural area. So this is one. It seeks to establish a rural development framework aligned with the national vision of Viksit Bharat 2047. Yes, this is also correct. It provides a statutory guarantee of 125 days. Now, this is important. MG Narega used to give 100 days of employment. This offers 125 days of wages employment in every financial year to every rural household. There are few more. I also made a small reel on this, a YouTube short on this. You can find that in the same YouTube page. But there are few more things I want you to note them down because this is a game changer. So, what are the things? So, at the time of UPA government, first thing first, UPA, when Congress was running the country, that time this UPA government came with MG Narega, a law guaranteeing 100 days of work. Um so, it will new bill will also shift to the skill-based jobs. Skill-based. So this is one thing you need to remember. And yes, it aligns with the Viksit Bharat goal 2047. Uh, MG Narega also helped during COVID because at the time of COVID there was a lockdown. That time also it created lot many jobs. Uh, There are, see, you need to remember the difference between the rights. One is the constitutional right, which is mentioned in the Constitution. For an example, Article 21A, which says right to education. So this is also a constitutional right. But then there are certain legal rights which are made by the parliament. So you should understand the difference between the constitutional rights and the legal right. So, for an example, 2005 government came up with MGNREGA. Okay, so this year you should remember because MG Narega was in news and it can be asked that which year it was enacted. So this I'll tell you few more legal rights which were enacted by the government. So in 2005 they came up with one more thing known as Right to Information Act RTI, right? And then 2006, they came up with the Forest Rights Act. I'm sorry, Forest Rights Act, right? Uh, 2013, a very important act, NFSA, National Food Security Act, which was passed, which offers the the free food or very minimum charges were taken for three things: rice, wheat, and the coarse grain. Although the current government changed its name, and now this name is Pradhan Mantri Antyodaya Yojana, right? Uh, so name changing is very common. Like for an example, there was this scheme which was there in the time of Manmohan Singh, Nirmal Bharat, which has been rechristened as Swachh Bharat, right? So this is one. Then there was Indira Gandhi Awas Yojana, IGY, which was renamed into Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, right? So then there was this Jannuram, JNURM, Jawaharlal Nehru Urban Renewal Mission, which was renamed as Amrut. The full form is Atal Mission for Rejuvenation and Urban Transformation. So this is not the first time any scheme is renamed, but earlier also there were many schemes which were renamed. Okay, one more thing here. There are certain states which were complaining that we don't get the laborers at the time of harvesting, especially the Punjab and Haryana. The farmers were saying that we need workers, and workers usually migrate to Punjab and Haryana from UP and Bihar. While they were getting the jobs in their own state, they were not migrating from UP and Bihar. So here you have to remember that there is another, I should say, provision in this G Ajivika mission, which says that there would be a 60 days pause. So 60 days pause at the time of agriculture season, so that those farmers should also get the workers. That you have to remember. What else you should know about this? Uh, there would be a job card. So earlier, what used to happen is this job card of MG Narega, the validity of that was 5 years. Now it has been reduced to 3 years. I'm telling this in details because this bill was in news every day. There was this news related to this, and therefore should be aware about this. Then there would be different colors of job cards. So females, the SC/ST population would get a different color of job cards. Why it is not clear, but what I feel is maybe they would be given the priority allocating the job. And then earlier, if some officer makes some irregularity in MGNREGA, there used to be a penalty of 1,000, but now the penalty has been increased to 10,000. So these are few very important changes which were made in MGNREGA. Now let's move towards the next question. Identify the correct statement regarding the recently launched Dhruv 64 by the Indian government. So it is India's first homegrown 1.0 gigahertz 64-bit dual-core microprocessor. It is developed by the Center for Development of Advanced Computing. It was developed under the Microprocessor Development Program (MDP). And the answer is all are correct. So question number 5 is done. Let's move towards question number 6. Which bank has received approval from RBI to allow its group entities to hold up to 9.50% stake in IndusInd Bank? Question number 6, and the answer is HDFC. So RBI have this power under the banking regulation as I told you, Act 1949 and Section 30. Remember the section also. No, Section 19, my bad. Section 19. So RBI can ask the group entities to either reduce or increase the stake in any bank. So IndusInd Bank belongs to Induja Brothers, one of the richest uh, conglomerate of UK, and they hold this IndusInd Bank's ownership with them. So next question. Argentina footballer Lionel Messi has recently concluded his first ever greatest of all time tour in India. He made appearance in which state? Question number 7. And the answer is Kolkata. And you know there were certain mishaps in Kolkata because of this tour. We'll not discuss that. So let's move towards the next question. The Ministry of Corporate Affairs has ordered an investigation by Serious Fraud Investigation Office into the affairs of Dash, citing public interest and serious accounting issues. So the answer is IndusInd Bank. Second. So SFO is a kind of a CBI of Finances. So CBI of Ministry of Corporate Affairs, you can say this. The Securities and Exchange Board of India has launched the PARVA to combat mis-selling of investment products. PARVA stands for what? So, question number 9, the answer is Past Risk and Return Verification Agency. Securities and Exchange Board of India. Uh, Not recently, but few months ago, there was this change of guard. The new chief of SEBI is Mr. Tuhin Kanta Pandey. So you should remember this because who's who is very important. You should know you should be by heart with the name of the governor of RBI. You should know the name of all the people, those who are related with the big regulators of the country. You should know the name. So let's move towards the next question. According to an analysis of data shared with the Indian Parliament, the value of cryptocurrency transaction in India exceeded in dash in 2024-25. So the answer of this is 51,000 crores. Now, cryptocurrency is something which attracts the news every now and then in the newspapers, and therefore you should be very careful if there is a news coming related to cryptocurrency in the newspapers. For an example, where did this concept come from? So, after the 2008 global financial crisis, which occurred in US, the anarchist groups felt that the fiat money. What is fiat money? So fiat money is something which is acceptable throughout the country and it is usually backed by the sovereign government. So people lost faith in fiat money. Now, if you don't know what happened in 2008, what is global financial crisis? I'm sorry, which occurred in US. So read about that. But after that, people lost faith in fiat money after the subprime crisis. This is also known as subprime crisis. Subprime crisis of 2008, right? So it also eroded the purchasing power of US dollars. Uh, and again, people said that banks, they levy a lot of transaction charges. So they decided to go for a different thing. So that different thing was the cryptocurrency. So it's a digital virtual currency, as all of us are aware these days. And it uses a technology known as blockchain, right? So remember this also, because this is nowadays used in even CBDC, central bank digital currency, which is also known as e-rupee in India. So the first cryptocurrency was Bitcoins, right? It was actually started by a group or an individual, it's unknown. So the name of that cryptocurrency was Bitcoin, and it was started by Satoshi Nakamoto. And therefore, the cryptocurrency has this, I'm sorry, not the cryptocurrency. This Bitcoin has the unit which is known as the Satoshi, right? So the first currency to make this crypto as its fiat currency was known as Marshall's Island. It was the first country, right? And the name of that currency is SOF. Remember this. So 2018, Marshall Island became the first country, right? Remember the name is SOV, SOV. Just a sec. I think I have some problem with my internet. Just a sec. Please be with me. I'll be back. I'm sorry for this interruption. So let me come back. So the question number 11 says, which institution has successfully raised 500 million through ECB? Now, this question is asking the requirement of external commercial borrowing. Uh, First of all, you should know the rules related to the ECB. Which body allows the external commercial borrowing? That is the RBI. So this is the first point, right? Now, RBI has a ceiling of ECB. Remember the ceiling? It's 1.50 billion. So this is the limit those who could not understand what is ECB all about, let me explain. If let's suppose any businessman in India, maybe Reliance, Mukesh Ambani, he wants to borrow from some foreign company. Uh, he cannot borrow unlimited. There is a limit set by RBI, which is 1.50 billion. You cannot borrow more than that. So it's the Indian companies borrowing maybe from any of the foreign company or foreign country for the use of foreign currency in India. So that is what you call the ECB. So even if the American bank is willing to lend $3 billion, it cannot lend. I mean, the Indian company cannot accept, right? So this is one thing. Because if you get it without the permission of RBI, you would be subjected to FEMA, which is Foreign Exchange Management Act, which gives RBI power to fine the companies or an individual which are taking foreign currency either inside India or taking outside India. They are subject to litigation. So there are again, as I said, FDI is prohibited in certain areas. Even ECB is prohibited in tobacco, betting, gambling, and few other places. Nonetheless, the answer of this question is India Infrastructure Finance Company Limited, or IIFL, which was in news because of certain irregularities. So that is about ECB. Uh, let's move towards the next question. AirPay recently received RBI approval to operate as a cross-border payment aggregator under which regulatory framework? Now, this question is related to the payment aggregator. You need to first understand what are payment aggregators. So let's suppose uh, I'm paying I'm paying my UPI payments, let's say via GPay to the merchant. So here GPay is known as the payment aggregator. So there are certain payment aggregators which also do the cross-border payments, right? So the answer of this question is third, unified payment aggregator framework. So there are RBI's PA guidelines. I'm sorry. It was made in 2022. So there are certain rules and regulations for the payment aggregators, right? So that's about it. Question number 13. Which Indian festival or event has been inscribed on the UNESCO list of the intangible cultural heritage of humanity at the 20th UNESCO Intergovernmental Committee session at New Delhi's Radford from December 8 to 30? UNESCO is United Nations Education, Scientific and Cultural Organizations headquartered in Paris, France. You need to remember the headquarters of all the major organizations, UN or non-UN, hardly matters. For an example, IMF has its headquarters in Washington, D.C. World Bank, same. WTO, Geneva, Switzerland, and so forth. So it should be on your fingertips. Exams like RBI, they ask a lot about these international organizations and their headquarters, functions as well. But basic things you should be aware of: the headquarters, the name of the chiefs, the uh, the functions for sure. Right. So the answer is our very own Deepavali. So there are other Indian elements on the list. You have yoga, you have Kumbh Mela, and you also have Durga Puja, right? Okay. So, which country became the world's first country to ban social media? Remember, it's not about banning internet, which every country does these days. Recently, it happened in Iran, and Iran shuttered. I was just reading an article in the Indian Express about the internet shutdowns, and Iran was named, Somalia was named, and to my surprise, India was also named in that list to frequently shut down the internet. Nonetheless, so Iran could not do that successfully this time because Elon Musk's Starlink was providing signals to Iranian people, and therefore they were able to upload the photographs of the protest. Now, people, those who are thinking that what I'm speaking of, if they are not aware what happened in Iran or what's going on with Greenland or what's with Cuba or Venezuela, that means you are not preparing hard for your exams. So I would say please start reading the newspapers. So which country became the first country to ban social media for teenagers? So the answer of this is Australia. So there is an act which was passed in Australia known as Online Safety Act. I'm so sorry. 2025. Using this act, Australia has banned the social media for teenagers under 16. So US also has an act known as COPPA. So this is Children's Online Privacy Protection Act. I don't know whether India has such act or not. If it is there, comment in the chat box. Which small finance bank that recently received the RBI's in principle approval means there are time limits given 90 days or 100 days. You prove this and then we'll give you full-fledged license. So transition into Universal Bank has appointed Ranbir Kapoor and Rashmika Mandana as its brand ambassador. Question number 15, and the answer is AU Small Finance Bank. So RBI has given SFB guidelines, Small Finance Bank guidelines in 2016. Remember this year, right? So there was this committee which was known as Nachiket More Committee. It was although made in 2013-14, but this committee becomes very important. See, there are few committees which are very old. Like there was this one more committee made by the government known as Narsimham, which is also known as the forefather of banking sector. It was made in 1990s, but trust me, it is still relevant. I have seen exams asking why Narsimham Committee was made. So it was made on the banking sector reforms. So there are certain very core major reforms which are done by the government with the recommendation of Narsimham Committee. One such committee also is Nachiket Moore Committee, uh, which was made by then 23rd Governor of RBI, Dr. Raghuram Rajan. And that was made on the differential banks. So whatever differential banks you see today, maybe the small finance bank or payment banks, the conceptual I mean, the guidelines were given by the Nachiket Moore Committee. Right. So these are new types of banks. Why? To provide the financial inclusion, because this is still very less in a dense country like India. So to provide the financial inclusion, and another thing, to have the sense of competition among the banking players, because they were very less that time. So RBI also reviews the PSL targets. So if I'm not wrong, they have 60% as PSL target, right? So RBI also reviews their PSL targets. They also help the small finance banks, also help the country to achieve the financial inclusion. So that's about question number 15. Let's talk about question number 16. Who has been appointed as the new chairman of Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Custom, succeeding Sanjay Kumar Agrawal? So question number 16, the answer is Vivek Chaturvedi. So this department actually oversees two things. One is GST and the other is customs. So GST is goods and service tax. The customs are levied on the imports, right? So this department oversees GST and customs. So Finance Ministry has around 5 departments, and one department is Department of Revenue. Department of Revenue. And this Department of Revenue actually is responsible for this Central Board for Indirect Taxes and Customs. Department of Revenue. Under this, you have CBIC and CBDT, Central Board for Direct Taxes, which collects the income tax and the corporation tax. This also implemented GST from 1st July. Remember the implementation date of GST, 2017. So GST is 101st Constitutional Amendment Act, 2016. And then there are various things related to GST. Every month there is certain news coming. Recently, government came up with GST 2.0. Then there was this controversy on GST on popcorns and so forth. Although these things are usually not asked, but yes, conceptual understanding is must. Anyways, identify the correct statements regarding FDI inflows in India during April to September FY26. So option number one says FDI surged over 18% to $35.18 billion in the first half of the fiscal year. Fiscal year means fiscal actually is a Greek word which says the public purse. So fiscal year starts on 1st April till 31st March, right? So FDI surged over 18% to this much in first half of the fiscal year. Singapore was a large source of FDI during the period, contributing this much. Maharashtra received the highest inflow of this much. I recalled something from Maharashtra. Recently, the BMC elections happened and BJP won landslide. So there was this. Today, every newspaper was talking about the future of the Thackeray family. entirely different topic. Let me not discuss this. Question number 17. The answer is all 1, 2, 3 are correct. However, uh, Singapore topped. Now, Singapore is such a small country, and neither US nor China nor UK, uh, not even Russia, no big country was the largest source of FDI during in India. And especially if you see, like, there are two important things. I'm again going a bit off topic, but I'll come back. So there are two important things. First is going to be a economic survey presented by the Chief Economic Advisor, Mr. V. Anant Nageshwaran, on 31st of Jan. I would strongly recommend all of you to read this very carefully. There are highlights which are going to be there in the newspapers. Read this carefully because this actually gives the data of whole year. The economic survey talks about the present health of economy. It would tell you that how much FDI came to India. It would tell you which country's FDI source was the highest, as this is saying Singapore and so forth. Plus, of course, on the first Sunday of Feb, that is on 1st of Feb, it's going to be budget, which is going to be presented. Article 112, 112 talks about the budget or the annual financial statement. So I think it's going to be there from 10 o'clock in the morning, and it would be a presentation by the finance minister for 1.5 hours almost. Please read this very carefully. I mean, listen to this. If you can sit in front of your TV and listen the budget, it would be very good because government usually announces the new schemes in the budget, and most of the exams are going to ask you. So economic survey and budget is very important. Coming back, why I discussed this, because this data, as in it says Singapore was the, this is talking about the specific April to September. But if you read the economic survey, it would talk about the whole year. So again, my question is, Singapore is such a small country, how it is attracting so much of uh, investment as an FDI. So there is a DTAA. If you don't know, write down the full form. The full form is Double Taxation Avoidance Agreement. Double Taxation Avoidance Agreement. This is between India and Singapore. Although there are certain changes made, but still the agreement is there, which says that if some investor is investing from Singapore, there would be no capital gains tax charged in India, assuming that the investor has already paid capital gains tax in Singapore because he's coming from Singapore, he's a Singaporean citizen. Therefore, we won't charge any tax. The Indian government says so. Same ways, if some Indian investor goes to Singapore, invests there, the Singaporean government is not going to charge any tax. So the moral of the story is both sides are not going to charge any tax. But then some companies, some corrupt people, some businessmen, those who want to avoid the tax, what they do is they take their money via illegal ways to Singapore, then they invest in India, and then they do not pay any tax, posing that they are the Singaporean citizen. They open the shell companies there, or they are also known as post box companies. So there is a term related to this known as round tripping. So your money is going to some other country with which India has the double taxation avoidance agreement, and black money is getting white. So Indian government came to know this and made certain amendments in the India-Singapore double taxation avoidance agreement. And it's not with Singapore only, it was with Mauritius also, Liechtenstein, Cayman Island, and few more countries. So usually these small countries, their main source of revenue is the tourism, and tourism is not sustainable. I mean, you cannot fulfill the demands of your people of your country only with tourism. So these countries convert themselves as tax havens. So Cayman Island, Mauritius, these countries are known as tax haven. Nonetheless, so there are few more terms related to that. I'm just writing the terms here and I want you to read about them. One is POEM, place of effective management. Another is base erosion and profit shifting, BEPS. And another is transfer pricing. I've just given you the terms poem, BEPS, and transfer pricing. You read about these terms and you'll come to know many hidden facts about the financial system of the country. Anyways, question number 18. Who among the following were crowned the 2025 Athletes of the Year at the 2025 World Athletics Award ceremony? And the answer of this question is third. Question number 19th. Name the app on which the center revoked its earlier order directing phone makers to mandatorily pre-install the state-owned application. And the answer is third, Sanchar Sathi. Now, the IT Act 2000, it actually mandates, it has a mandate in it that you cannot do the things which generate the antitrust. This also happened at the time of COVID. If you remember, there used to be an app known as Arogya Setu, which was also mandated by the government, but gradually it was removed. So although Sanchar Sathi is a good app, I have used this, and yes, it would let you know that how many phone connections are on your name, and if you think that these connections does not belong to you and this is using your Aadhaar card or your identity, you can always deactivate those connections via Sanchar Sathi, and this is really a very helpful app. But government said it is mandatory to have Sanchar Sathi was something which people did not like, and especially the foreign companies. So whether the companies like Samsung or maybe Apple, uh, why they would say that yes, we are agreeing with this. So you are first calling them by giving them PLI, telling them that you are not going to put any tax on them, and then you tell them that okay, you have to mandatorily have this app. So because of the protest, the government took its decision back to have Sanchar Sathi. So this was in news nonetheless. So let's move towards the next question. The RBI has approved the application of Dash as the Chief Executive Officer of Bank of America. And the answer is Vikram Sahu. The Indian Navy has commissioned the country's first indigenous anti-submarine warfare vessel in Mumbai. And what is the name of that? So the answer is INS Mahe. Answer is third, INS Mahe. So it is built by GRSE. Is made by GRSE. So it will enhance the coastal security of the country, especially in the Indian Ocean region, whereas there are a lot of threats coming from China. So the funniest part is China says that the South China Sea belongs to China because the name is South China Sea. So it says if the name is South China Sea, so all the sea areas they belongs to China. But when it comes to India, it says Indian Ocean. No, no, it does not belong to China. Just because its name is Indian Ocean, it does not belong to India. My bad. So China is trying to infiltrate in Indian Ocean, and therefore we need such kind of vessels. Justice Suryakant was sworn in as Dash Chief Justice of India. See, I always say persons in news. You should make a list. Who's who? So he's a 51st CJI. 51st CJI. So CJI appointments are done under Article, remember this, Article 124. Okay, under Article 124, the CJI appointments are done, right? Suryakant succeeded DY Chandrachud, remember this, right? The first CJI, the first Chief Justice of India, remember the name, H.J. Kania. He was the first Chief Justice of India in 1950. It's a historical context of the Chief Justice of India, right? So there is a system known as SC, Supreme Court Collegium. Okay, SC Collegium, which has a CJ, Chief Justice of India, and four senior most judges. Four senior most judges. Now, your country is the perhaps the only country, whereas you have the system as judge recruiting judge. So, who is going to be the next judge of Supreme Court is decided by the judges of Supreme Court themselves. Although the final offer letter is given by the president, but president cannot make this decision without the consultation with the Chief Justice of India. And again, there are certain controversies going on. There was this HC, there is an HC judge known as Justice Verma. If you follow this case, there was a lot of cash, burned out cash recovered from the residence of Justice Verma, and then there is a process of removal is going on, and it's very difficult to remove a judge in India. So today also there were certain comments. Today or yesterday, I was reading a newspaper. There were certain comments made by Supreme Court on Justice Verma. So if you're not following this, I don't want you to follow the negative news, but the constitutional angle related to that, that whether this is mentioned in the constitution that a judge can be removed. So the answer is not mentioned in the constitution, but then there is an act related to that known as the Judges Inquiry Act. So read about that. That's a very interesting issue. Question number 23. Name the long dormant volcano located in Ethiopia which erupted for the first time on November 23rd, 2025 in nearly 12,000 years. And the answer of this question is highly goopy. So it erupted after 12,000 years. Uh, There is an systemic activity, rift systemic activity going on in East African continent, and therefore such volcano erupts. Which country has won its second consecutive Women's Kabaddi World Cup? And of course, if you're talking about Kabaddi, uh, you know the answer. So the answer is India. While I read this name, I definitely recall the things which are going on in Bangladesh. I don't want to discuss what's going on, but still, you should know who's who of Bangladesh. Like Khalida Zia recently died. Which party does she belongs to? The name of the caretaker government's chief, Muhammad Yunus. Who is he? Why did he get the Nobel Prize? Because even his Nobel Prize is he got the Peace Prize actually, and it's related to something which is related to banking, known as microfinance. So I should know what happened so far. Anyways, according to the Department of Financial Services data as of December 25, identify the correct statements given below regarding Jan accounts. So this is again an important question. The Jan Dhan Yojana uh, launched in 2014, launched in 2014 by the Department of Financial Services, a sub-department of Ministry of Finance. You know the motto of Jan Dhan Yojana, the largest financial inclusion program of India, or perhaps the world? It's Mera Khata. In fact, I still remember there was this question asked by one of the banks, Mera Khata, Bhagya Vidhata. So this is the motto or punchline of Jan Dhan Yojana. So it was launched, the scheme was launched in two phases. There were six objectives of PM Jan Dhan Yojana. Uh, So the PMJDY accounts can be opened in any commercial or cooperative bank, provided that bank has CBS, which is core banking services. That means all the branches are connected via a common software. So one thing was that, and bank has to tie up with RuPay payment gateway. RuPay payment gateway. Remember this. So these were two conditions for the bank, right? Uh, and there was this overdraft which was also offered. Overdraft was 10,000. So if your account balance is zero and your credit history of 6 months is good and you have issued a check, so the check would be cleared and your account would go into the negative balance. And once you will deposit the money, that would be again come into positive. So this is known as OD. So which was up to 10,000. Originally it was 5,000, but then it was increased to 10,000. So it used to see the balance history of 6 months. And again, the government said the overdraft would be given to the female member of the family to improve the financial inclusion. So every Jandan account came with a free accident insurance of 1 lakh, and the premium used to be paid by NPCI, National Payments Corporation of India, a body which every day is in news, and I'm sure that you know about what is NPCI. Anyways, so implication was people have universal banking, the LP, the I'm sorry, the GEM Trinity. So the Jandan account associated with Aadhaar number and mobile card. So government can directly, you know, give the subsidy to people via the GEM Trinity. There would be less subsidy leakage. The direct benefit transfer, the DBT would be quite effective and so forth. Question number 25, the answer is all of the above. Keep moving towards the next question. The RBI has directed banks to submit a detailed roadmap by March 26 on how they will ring fence their core banking operations from riskier non-core business. So you first have to understand the difference between core business and non-core business. So core business is opening an account, giving a loan. Non-core businesses include providing mutual funds and so on and so forth. So non-core business would be all of the above. So banks should not overpromise to its customers. Identify the incorrectly matched pair. So you just read this and get the right answer. BFS, Board for Financial Supervision. I think it's correct. CRAR, capital to risk weighted asset ratios. Is correct. Deposit Insurance and Credit Guarantee Corporation. So let's suppose there is a bank known as maybe any bank, ABC Bank, and you have an account with ABC Bank and you have 5 lakhs as deposit with this bank. Suddenly, ABC Bank got bankrupt. It gave money to Vijay Mallya. He ran away to UK and ABC Bank is bankrupt because it has no money to give you back because your money is lended to Vijay Mallya. So this body would give your money back. So if you have 5 lakhs, it would give you 5 lakh back. If you have 2 lakhs, it would give you 2 lakh back. But what if you have 6 lakhs? That case, you get 5 lakhs and you won't get the remaining 1 lakh. So that 1 lakh would be given to you once the government will sell the bank's property and if you get something. So yes, there is a body which gives your depositor insurance. ECB is external commercial borrowings. We just learned about it. So the answer is BPLR is not business prime lending rate. Can someone tell me what is the full form of BPLR? So it's benchmark prime lending rate. It was earlier known as BPLR. Now it's MCLR. And if you talk about the recent one, it's EBLR. So these are few techniques by which banks decide that what interest they are going to charge to their customers on loan. So MCLR, let's suppose MCLR is 20 or 10. If you're going for car loan, it's 10 plus 10. If you're going for home loan, is 10 plus, let's say 8. Going for education loan, maybe 10 plus 2. So it depends. This is the minimum interest bank is going to charge. This is a benchmark prime lending rate, or these days EBLR. So BPLR is wrong. It's not business prime lending rate. Yes, such questions are very common these days. So You should be aware about all the short forms and their full forms. Like if I say UPI, you should know it's Unified Payment Interface, or RTGS is Real Time Gross Settlement, or NEFT is National Electronic Fund Transfer. So you should be very clear with the full forms related to banking and finance. Anyways, let's move towards the question number 28th. Identify the correct statements regarding the unclaimed deposits in Indian banks. So, unclaimed deposits saw a reduction of around this much. Udgam portal facilitate registered users to search unclaimed deposits. Udgam stand for unclaimed deposit. Again, see the full form. So important, unclaimed deposit gateway to access information. And question number 28, all the answers are correct. Fifth, 1, 2, 3, all are correct. So the RBI says if the deposits are unclaimed for 10 years, bankers need to transfer it to Depositors Education and Awareness Fund, DEA. By 2023, RBI set up the Udgam portal, whereas you can search with the Aadhaar card or the PAN card, and you'll come to know that how much money is deposited by the name of this person, maybe dead or not found. So that is how it is. For which bank the government of India planning to invite bids to sell its 60.72% stake, valued approximately at 7.1 billion? And the answer of this question is IDBI. So the government is planning to sell this much of IDBI. So there is a body of present government known as NITI, National Institution for Transforming India. If you are not aware about the name, write it down. So the Niti Aayog says that do not use this word privatization, because this is a toxic word. Government is losing the control and private player would come and will sack the people. So it says rather says strategic disinvestment. So disinvestment is something whereas government is not losing the control. 51% share of the company, Sarkari company, would lies with the government, and the remaining 49% can be sold to private player. So ownership lies with the government. But privatization says 100% privatization, like happened in case of Air India. So strategic disinvestment is the concept given by Niti Aayog, which is actually meant the privatization. That means sell the complete entity, but gradually. So that's happening with IDBI Bank. Although these three bodies, SIDBI, NABARD, and EXIM, these are actually not the banks directly giving money to the public. These are known as IFI, All India Financial Institutes. These are the bodies which refinance, like NABARD, which was made in 1982 with the recommendation of Sivaraman Committee. What it does, it refinances and regulates the RRBs. If I am a farmer and I want to buy a tractor and I go to NABARD, it won't give me the loan. It would say, go and take the loan from RRB. I would give loan to RRB. Same goes with Export Import Bank of India, Small Industries Development Bank of India. For example, SIDBI's Mudra loans for MSMEs or for startups. So what is the full form of Mudra? So it's Micro Units Development and Refinancing Agency, right? Anyways, so the answer is IDBI. Question number 30th. RBI has granted in-principle approval to Fino Payments Bank for its transition into Small Finance Bank, which the following is not a function of Small Finance Bank, accepting deposit, offering small loans, utilizing high-tech, low-cost models for efficient operations, expanding banking access to remote and unbanked areas, setting up subsidiaries for non-banking financial activities. So question number 30, the answer is 5. So they cannot set up the NBFC subsidiaries, the small finance banks. So it can offer small loans, but it cannot start the insurance company or so forth. Anyways, so question number 31, identify the correct statements regarding digital lending apps. So it says technology-driven platforms that digitally facilitate the entire loan process from application to disbursement and recovery. Okay, RBI plays a central role in regulating the DLS systems. They help customers verify if a specific digital lending app is legitimately associated with RBI regulated entity. And the answer of question number 31 is all 1, 2, and 3. So the DLS must be RBI regulated entities backed by. Anyways, question number 32. So is a process where banks first receive an initial bid for their bad loans. Bad loans means the NPAs. Bad loans is not loan given to bad people, no. It's NPA, non-performing asset. So you are a bank, you're giving loan to someone that becomes an asset for you. You are expecting the returns from that asset every month. You should get the return. If you won't get the return for 30 days, it would become an SMA, then SMA 1, 2, then it becomes NPA. 90 days, if you don't get your money back, it becomes an NPA. And then what do banks do? Banks give Swiss challenge. That means they bid that who is going to buy this bad loan and recover it. So usually the participants are known as ARCs, the asset recovery companies, ARCs. So the ARCs, sorry, asset reconstruction companies, my bad, not recovery, asset reconstruction companies. So whomsoever comes up with the highest bid, they get this bad loan, and then these ARCs are going to take the bad loans recovered. So that is how it is. So ARCs is 100% FDI is allowed in ARCs, and there was this committee made by RBI known as Sudarshan Sen Committee. Remember this? Sudarshan Sen Committee for the reforms in ARCs, asset reconstruction companies. Question number 33, which of the following accolades has DBS Bank received? So the answer is all of the above. So DBA belongs to Singapore. Remember this. Singapore's bank, and it's a leader in digital banking. So it has done lot many uh, creative things related to blockchain technology and AI, and therefore it got this award. Identify the correct statement regarding the Indian Digital Payment Intelligence Corporation, IDPIC. So it is being set up to detect and prevent fraudulent digital transactions. It will be established as a Section 8 company. And remember, NPCI also is the Section 8 company. That means not for profit. Right. SBI and BOB recently received RBI approval to establish IDPIC. It will utilize advanced technology to fight rising digital fraud, and the answer is all of the above. So question number 34 is all of the above. In which of the following areas is the RBI relaxed rule for non-financing holding companies to enter? So the answer is again mutual fund, insurance, pension fund management, investment advisory, all of the above. So the non-holding companies like Tata Sons, Bajaj, they can also go for these things now. The RBI released the final guidelines on transaction amount direction on December 11, 2025. And if I the correct statement, this is related to RBI circulars which are going to be asked this year. So be very careful. It covered transaction account operations across 7 categories of regulated entities. It lifted all restriction on banks opening and maintaining cash credit accounts. Banks may now maintain current account without restrictions. Remember, current accounts, banks are not liable to give any interest. Nonetheless, again, question number 36, the answer is all 1, 2, and 3 are correct. You should know these facts. Question number 37. In which of the following areas sector has the Ministry of Finance announced measures to strengthen and streamline grievance redressal? And the answer of question number 37 is banking, yes, financial services, yes, and insurance, yes. So the answer of question number 37 is fifth, all 1, 2, and 3. Question number 38. In view of the evolving liquidity conditions, what measures were announced by RBI on December 5th, 2025? To conduct open market operations purchase of government securities of 1000 crores. Open market operation purchase. That means, see, what is open market operations? So buying and selling of government securities by RBI, I'm sorry, is known as open market operations, right? So while RBI says we are going to buy the securities, that means RBI will infuse the cash in the market. Why? Because RBI will buy the securities and give the cash to banks. Bank would have more cash to lend, and that would lead to slashing the interest rates. That will lead people borrowing more, spending more. Because if they'll take more loans, they would invest and spend more, and that would give the growth a momentum, right? So while there is a deflationary trend or inflation is in control, RBI buys the government securities from the banks. On the other hand, if there is lot of inflation, RBI sells the government securities to the banks. Be very clear with that. This is what you have open market operations. So 3 years USD INR buy sell swap of 5 billion. Why? Because 3rd of December, the news came that the rupee is depreciated at 90 against the dollar, and therefore RBI had to intervene. Although RBI governor said that we are not going to intervene much, let it be a free flow of rupee, free fall, I'm sorry, of rupee, but still there was this currency swap, right? And auction of RBI's gold reserve amounting to this much. Do you really feel RBI has to auction his gold just to get the money? So question number 38, the answer is only 1 and 2. So these two things were announced. This was announced why? Because inflation was in control. So RBI has this IT. IT is what? Inflation targeting. So RBI is Monetary Policy Committee, which has a chairman as RBI governor. And then there are total 6 members, three from RBI and 3 from government, right? So this 6 member committee sees the CPI inflation, the consumer price index, right? And this consumer price index, there is a uh, what should I say, the limit which is posed. So what is the limit? Minimum is 2% and maximum is 6%. So the comfort zone of RBI is 4%, right? So these two are correct because RBI was in comfort zone. Although I read in the newspaper that inflation is again on the rise because of many factors. Let's see. Which of the following, did I give the answer of this? Yes. Which one of the following are the outcomes of RBI's bi-monthly monetary policy? See, monetary policy, whenever it comes, although it comes twice, once in 2 months, so you call it bi-monthly monetary policy. So, question number 39, it reduces the FY26 CPI inflation forecast to 2% from 2.6% earlier. So, yes, the the RBI says that inflation would be in control. CPI here is Consumers Price Index. It has a base year which is going to be changed to 2024. Whenever it would happen, please uh, keep this somewhere in writing. And this data is given by the NSO, National Statistical Office, which comes under MOSPI, Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation, right? So, yes, it decided to continue with a neutral stance. So, what is the meaning of neutral stance? So it's a flexibility for future actions. That means go with the flow. Carpe diem. It unanimously voted to reduce the repo rate by 25 basis point to 5.25%. And the answer of question number 39 is all 1, 2, and 3. See, whenever you are going to take an exam, I have already given you this idea. I'm giving this idea to the people, those who have recently joined and not knowing much about the banking thing. There is a website of RBI. Go to the RBI website. The day you are going for an exam, especially if it's a banking NABARD exam or LIC for that matter, go to the RBI website, and in the RBI website, left side of that site, at least till today it was on left side, just find it. There is a tab known as policy rates. In this tab, you would get every policy rate updated. Do not Google it, do not Wikipedia it, do not ask to ChatGPT or any AI tool. Rather, go to the authentic website of RBI, find out the current repo rate, current reverse repo rate, current CRR, SLR, and the bank rate. Mug it up, and then you go for the exam. Trust me, it's going to pay, right? Anyways, let's move towards the next question, which is question number 40. According to the Finance Ministry report, identify the correct statement regarding the fugitive economic offenders in the country, like Vijay Mallya or Nirav Modi or so far. So the answer is 15 individual had been declared FEOs. This is correct. Just 9 FEOs owed Indian banks over 58,000 crores in principal and interest. True. To date, banks have recovered just over 19,000 crores, roughly 33% of total dues. So question number 40, the answer is all correct. So this is a challenge to the global asset recovery. Recently, Nirav Choksi was found captured by some other country's police, and he was about to be deported to India. Nonetheless, question number 41. Identify the correct statements regarding the urban cooperative banks, which are categorized into four tiers. And it's tiers, right? Not tiers for regulatory purposes. So, tier 1 covering UCBs with deposit up to 100 crores, tier 2 comprising UCBs up to more than 100 crores, and this is the banks are given the categories. So question number 41, the answer is all of the above. Question number 42. The International Day of Banks is observed on December 4th every year. The 2025 theme draws is rationale from question number 42. So financing a livable planet, yes. Closing the sustainable development goal, financing gap, yes. And these sustainable development goals are decided by UN. So there are some targets, there are certain goals. I would strongly recommend whatever exam you're preparing for, read all the sustainable development goals in details. And the answer of question number 42 is all 1, 2, and 3. Question number 43, the annual report for RBI's integrated ombudsman scheme includes information on all banks, payment service providers, credit information companies, NBFCs. And question number 43, all of the above. So RBI has even recently said that even the corporate the banks which are the cooperative banks, my bad, even their customers can now come to RBI ombudsman if they have any problem with their banks. So anyways, the answer is all of the above. Question number 44. Which of the following are not offered under RBI's cross-border payment aggregator license? My bad. Question number 44, and the answer is currency conversion. Yes, it's offered. Foreign exchange hedging facility offered, recurring cross-border payments, export bill discounting. So everything is offered. So the answer is none of the above. Question number 45. As per the securities contract rules issued by SEBI, all listed companies, including those in public sector, must have a minimum public shareholding. Question number 45 is 25%. Remember, this is important for you to understand. So, yes, 25% is the answer. Let's move towards question number 46. The RBI has mandated that all banks must provide mobile and internet banking service for BSBD. See, BSBD was an account whereas you were only taking the money out, and it was a zero balance account actually. So banks were reluctant to provide any service because they were not, there were people, those who are not depositing any money, just to whenever they used to get a check, they used to deposit and used to take all the money back. So the banks were reluctant, but RBI said no, it's not like that, you have to give them services. So question number 46, the answer is April 1st. If such kind of changes are made, usually these are made in the start of the financial year. And you know that in India, the financial year start on 1st of April. So the answer is third. The sorry, my bad. Second, 1st April 2026. My bad. So usually these BSBDs are offered under the PMJDY. So RBI says that you should go for the other benefits as well. In accordance with the complaints handled by the Office of the RBI Ombudsman, identify the correct statement given below. So RBI receives this much of complaints. The share of complaints received against private sector banks were increased, and public sector banks' complaints declined. So question number 47, the answer is all 1, 2, and 3. That means the public sector banks are competing with the private sector banks, which is good. So let's move towards the next question. Question 48. As per the complaints handled by the Office of RBI Ombudsman, again the question relates to the ombudsman. Of the this much complaints, which category has registered the largest share? So obviously, while people take the loan from the banks, and then sometimes banks have hidden charges, sometimes the recovery methods are bad, and therefore people goes to the ombudsman, and the answer is second. So question number 48 is loans and advances. The RBI has confirmed that SBI, HDFC, and ICICI are DSIB. So DSIBs means too big to fail. Remember, DSIBs means too big to fail. So there is the Basel 3 framework, Basel 3 framework of RBI, which gives the categories to DSIBs. So these DSIPs have to keep extra capital requirements and other things. So SBI is into bucket three. It is having the highest risk because these banks are too big. If they fall, it's going to crash the complete Indian economy. So therefore, these three banks are known as DSIPs. Anyways, so the RBI governor has unveiled national strategy for financial inclusion. Identify the correct statement regarding the strategy. So just read the statements 1, 2, and 3. Question number 50 because all are correct. So financial inclusion is providing access to banking. Remember this, not only banking, but banking, insurance, and investment, right? In fact, pension. So all the schemes related to financial inclusion, whether it's related to banking or insurance or pension or knowledge of investment, you should know the names of scheme. Very important, right? Okay. Question number 51. Which regulatory body has appointed Usha Janki Raman as its ED with effect from December 1st, 2025? And the answer of question number 51 is Reserve Bank of India, RBI. So she was appointed as ED. She started RBI as an officer, and today she has been appointed as ED. So this is a lesson for you. You can also become an ED of a big organization like RBI. Work hard. Anyways, question number 52. Which public sector bank have entered into an MOU to jointly drive a center of excellence in strategic partnership focusing on leading in project financing, co-financing, large infra product? And the answer of question number 52 is Bank of India and SBI. Third, the RBI and NIPL. NIPL is the subsidiary of NPCI, are working to connect UPI with TIPS. So UPI stands for Unified Payment Interface, TIP stands for Target Instant Payment Settlement, NIPL stands for NPCI, National Payments Limited, and yes, question number 53, the answer is all correct. 1, 2, and 3. So that means the people living in Europe can send the cross-border payment to India via this tie up with NPCI and vice versa. People sitting in India want to send the money in Europe can send. So it would make it easier for the cross-border payments. So this is question number 53. Now question number 54. So the RBI on 28 November 25 released the quarterly basic statistical return on deposit with scheduled commercial banks. Identify the correct statement. So statement says the household sector remained the largest contributor. Of course, we are the household. If we won't buy, who would buy? So yes, this is important. The share of PSB's deposit in total deposit improved. It shows that people have trust on PSBs. And metropolitan branch with largest share of deposit exhibit deposit growth. So question number 54, the answer is 1, 2, and 3, all correct. Question number 55. The following are fully owned subsidiaries of RBI. Identify the incorrect match. So Deposit Insurance and Credit Guarantee Corporation. Remember that 5 lakhs wala thing I told you. Bharatiya Reserve Bank Note Mudran Private Limited, a press which publishes the currency notes. Reserve Bank Integrated Technology Private Limited. Question number 55 is Reserve Bank uh, Information Technology Private Limited and not Integrated Information. And remaining others are fine. So the wrong is third. It's incorrectly matched. So question number 55, the answer is third. Question number 56. According to RBI info, the following acts are administered by RBI. Identify the incorrect match. So RBI Act 1934, correct. Banking Regulation Act 1949, correct. FEMA 1999, Credit Information Companies Regulation Act 2005, and Payment and Settlement System Act 2017. This is wrong. Payment and Settlement System Act 2007. Important question, and you should know everything related to Payment and Settlement System Act. It regulates all the payment system like NEFT, RTGS, UPI, ATM, you name the payment, and RBI regulates this via this system. Question number 57, identify the correct statement regarding India's bank notes and coins. So every banknote issued by RBI, unless withdrawn from circulation, is legal tender in any place in India. So question number 57, first is correct. 1 rupee note are issued by Ministry of Finance, correct, and signed by the Finance Secretary. Question number third is according to the Coinage Act, the Ministry of Finance is also responsible for designing, minting, and issuing all the coins. Yes. So the government publishes the coin, RBI circulates the coin. So question number 57, the answer is all are correct. There are a few more things to discuss with you, but since we are running short of time, so I'll move a bit fast. The account aggregator network was introduced as a financial data sharing system by the RBI. In this connection, which of the following statements are correct? So, uh, first is correct, second is correct, third is correct. So, yes, all are correct. Question number 59. With which country has India engaged into a joint bilateral exercise Harimau Shakti at Mahajan Field Firing Range, Rajasthan? So 59 is Malaysia. 59 is Malaysia. So India has a policy known as Act East. So with this policy, we are making good relationship with ASEAN countries, right? Anyways, question number 60. What is the theme of 2025 World Soil Day celebrated on December 5th every year? And the answer is healthy soil for healthy cities first. Okay, now let's move a bit quick. Question number 61. Which of the following payment banks receive an award in the category of India's Best Digital Banking Security Practice at the Global FinTech Award 2025? And the answer is Airtel Payment Bank, run by the Bharti Group. 62. Who among the following Indian Grandmasters has won the Jerusalem Masters? And the answer of question number 62 is second. Question number 63. Which private sector space company has launched Vikram 1 and orbital rocket? So question number 63 is Skywood Aerospace. Question number 64. According to the World Urbanization Prospects, which among the following is the world's most populous city? So question number 64 is Jakarta, Indonesia, and not Delhi. Maybe the most polluted but not most populated. The report of monthly accounts of the Government of India up to the month of October has been published. In the connection which the following statements are correct. The tax revenue has the top source of the government, this much shares and expenditure of the government. And this is actually the midway data. The real data would come on 1st of Feb. So read, as I said, listen to the budget very carefully. Question number 65. The answer is all are correct. With the following teams has won the T20 World Cup for the visually impaired women, and 66 is India, of course. 67, the seventh session of the UNES 7 took place in December. Headquarters, where are the headquarters? So the answer is it's in Nairobi, Kenya. Question number 68. The following are some of the key abbreviations and acronyms. The incorrect match. API is Application Programming Interface. CBDC is Central Bank Digital Currency. DLT is Distributed Ledger Technology. ICO is Initial Coin Offering. And NLP is Neural Language Product. So it's not product, it's processing. Processing. So the answer is fifth. Following countries is assumed 2026 presidency of G20. So 69, the answer is United States of America, whereas Donald Trump said, I'm not going to invite many countries. So let's see whether it is going to invite South Africa or not. Question number 70. The following attained full membership of the Colombo Security Conclave held in November 25 in New Delhi. So question number 70 is Seychelles. Question number 71. Which of the following statement pertaining to the 6th International Agronomy Congress are correct? So question number 71. All are correct. Question number 72, 2025 Men's Hockey Junior World Cup, where it was organized. So question number 72, the answer is Chennai and Madurai. Question number 73, TPG, a leading global alternative asset management firm. Which Indian technology company is establishing Hypervault? So 73 is none other than TCS. Question number 74. The chairman of 16th Finance Commission is Arvind Pangaria. Question number 75. The answer is fifth. Question number 76. The answer is fourth. Question number 77. Who of the following persons has assumed the chairmanship of the Council of Member of States of the International Institute of Democracy and Electoral Assistance for the year 2026? And the answer of 77 is Yanish Kumar. He was in news because of some allegations by the Congress party. Just read about that. Question number 78. The length of India's coastline has been reassessed. Largest coastline in the country. Question number 78 is Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Question number 79 is again you have to find the incorrect match. So question number 79, the expansion of SWIFT is incorrect. Society for Worldwide International Financial Telecommunication. I'm not telling you the right answer. I want you to find out this because this was in news. Every country is trying to find its own messaging system in finance because this is totally in the control of US. So just read about SWIFT and know the full form as well. Others are correct. And the last is who among the following Indian badminton player has won 2025 Australian Open? And the answer is Lakshya Sen. So students, with this, we have completed 80 questions with a lot of important things for you to understand. Kindly, if you could not understand or if you could not, I'm so sorry. If you could not find something I could not explain, so just research about it. And that's it for today. Thank you very much. Have a good night sleep. Bye bye.